place. It isn't what you think. I can get you home. And give you more time. If you help me. So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
Hi everyone, welcome to Film Vets. I'm your host Paul Dixon, and with me is my co-host
Dan Young.
This is not going to be pretty. Okay, Dan, today we're going to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp. I was going to say Quasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I saw it, and it is a movie. Dan, you saw it, and you said it was also a movie.
Paul Rudd is an actor.
Yes, Paul Rudd is very
Yes.
actor. I want to preface this with something. If I had to summarize this film, it would be, okay. And I do not like feeling like that when I come out of a Marvel movie. I don't like feeling like, even if the movie was just, it gave me some chuckles. And Marvel movies are supposed to be something special at this point. That's my opinion. Some people can look past that and go see a movie like this and be like, oh, it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. That may be for them. I was let down. One of the few times I was let down by Marvel. But it wasn't terrible for me. It wasn't like I came out of the movie hating life. Now, Dan, I feel like you did. Is that an accurate statement?
I did.
Wow.
Allow me to pick up the torch from the beginning where you did. Allow me to summarize that movie.
Great.
For me, it was... That was it. That's it. Just the silence. I actually walked out of the theater feeling a little shell-shocked, actually. Like, in not a good way. Like, I walked out, and I have to start off by saying I love Paul Rudd as an actor, and I love Ant-Man. I loved the second movie. I thought it was put together beautifully. The first movie was even better. Like, it was a perfect step into who Ant-Man was, who the characters are, and it built everything up wonderfully. The third movie felt like somebody just kind of kicked in the door, ran over, and slapped me out of my chair. I was just laying prone in the fetal position on the floor, wondering, am I supposed to cry right now? How do I really feel? Like, why am I here? How did I get here? And it just starts this whole existential crisis. Yes. Like, when I walked into that theater, I didn't know how I was supposed to feel. Because I don't walk out of a Marvel movie feeling disdain. I don't walk out of a Marvel movie feeling that let down. And I did. I walked out of that theater and I was just like, am I supposed to, like, hate puppies now? Like, what is life?
Oh my
what
God.
am I doing with my life?
Wow. Look, I didn't care.
Oh my God.
I didn't care for the movie overall, but I didn't hate it. I think there were good elements to it. I really thought, first of all, that the alien with the holes thing was funny for me. I thought that was
funny.
Okay, but that's kind of getting into spoilers. So let's just cut this off with the beginning here and say this is the end of non-spoilers. That was our non-spoiler review of the film, pretty much. We just both didn't honestly care for it. Now let's get into some spoilers. I will say Kang is the highlight of this movie. I have a problem with that as well. Kang getting killed at the end bothered me. I hope he's not dead. But if he's not dead, they're doing that whole thing where the villain or somebody is dead, but they come back, which they do a lot. So if he's not dead, he's coming back, and they're doing that. If he is dead, that's a problem too, because you've built up the villain for the next phase of Marvel movies. So they kind of put themselves in a bit of a bind here. And I don't know how to feel about that, because he's supposed to be the biggest and baddest of the Kangs. He was exiled because of that. Who's going to top him at this point? You know, the three Kangs at the end were kind of just, you know, they were the leaders of this Kang dynasty that they're building up, but they're not really very formidable compared to what the other one was supposed to be. Anyway, That's my thoughts on that. That's a villain problem. The huge problem with the film is it doesn't feel like an Ant-Man movie. It doesn't feel like the first two films, a continuation of those films. You're missing some of the heart of the first two movies. I hate to say this, I got nothing against Kathryn Newton, who plays Cassie grown up. She's fine. She's a fine addition. I just don't understand why the change of actresses. Now, if you remember at the end of, or in the beginning or middle of Endgame, Paul Rudd shows up in the movie and he goes to find his family and Cassie's there and it's a different actress. I don't know what happened. Maybe she couldn't make it and they just had to recast and she was the best actress. In that case, that's fine. I just think it just seemed arbitrary to change the actress like that, especially for such a role that really didn't require much. I mean, it was just she was kind of the person that he needed to save. And I don't know, that just bothered me for some reason. But I think the film it's missing a lot of the heart of what the first two movies had. And it might come down to missing a couple of the side characters like the mother, and the boyfriend who were also in the first two movies, and also Louise, who they cut out completely, who could have at least shown up at the end of the movie at the birthday party, he was the best highlighted character of the first movie. You remember that whole scene with him in the van? That's like they taking Scott from prison. That singed into my mind. I love that scene so much. And we don't have anything like that here. And this is a very much a very, everything's in the quantum realm. And oh my God, this really bothered me. I'm going to keep going ranting until you stop me. But the quantum realm just did not look good. It looked like they had the volume, they had the effects, but it just doesn't mesh. And there's a scene where they reveal the rebellion, the alien rebellion that shows up, and it looks like they come over this mountain horizon, but if you watch that and you look at it, it looks like there's rocks and there's a screen behind them. It looks really weird. And I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't feel big. Even though you have the volume, the thing they use in The Mandalorian, it wasn't used properly or something. I don't know. I could go on about the visual effects, and we could go on with MODOK. MODOK was another thing. And so there's a lot of problems with this movie. Is it a bad movie?
Yes.
I don't think it is. I think it's got a lot of problems. But I've seen some bad movies. I've seen terrible acting. I've seen terrible direction. This at least had competence behind it a bit. This at least had a story. And this at least had good acting. Like, I thought Paul Rudd at the very least was great. I've seen, now I'm not saying mainstream movies. I'm saying in general, bad movies. I've seen some stuff, man.
No, I completely understand that.
Yeah.
But if you'll permit me really quick, just kind of hop in and say,
sure.
This is another instance of a well-acted bad script. They did the best of their possible abilities with a bad script. It was messy. It was just all over the place. It had no character growth. None. That, for a Marvel movie, that is unreal. Zero character growth. It started with him walking and like, oh, my life is so quirky. Like, this is weird. And then at the end, it's him walking. My life is so quirky. The only thing we get come the end is him going, did I just release somebody so terrible? No, it'll be fine. And then he just wanders away. It's so mind-numbingly stupid.
I actually like the beginning.
Stupid. I thought the beginning was perfect.
I thought the beginning
and absolutely perfect.
I thought the beginning and end bookends were actually my favorite part. I thought because he was in the middle. He was in the middle of his world.
Was stupid.
I thought it was stupid but funny. I laughed. I think it was. But this is the problem. It didn't end the way it should, and I'll tell you why. The perfect ending for me, I was like on board with this, was when they defeated Kang and they're stuck in the quantum realm. It's him and the Wasp. And you're like, oh, there's no way to get out. They're stuck. And then Cassie opens up the portal and it's fine. It's like...
Well, of course.
That would have been a great ending.
And you know what? Honestly, I'm okay. I would have been okay with what they did there. I would have given them a pass. Like, okay, I understand you need her to do something. Even though, one, you've never gotten any indication through all the other films that she was a Tony Stark level genius. None.
That was
now
weird.
All of a sudden she's building quantum shit.
That was really weird.
Two, she is going to jail and there's no reprimand just because her dad went to jail. She's a social warrior and it's great because she's doing it for a good cause. No, she's still being a jerk and getting arrested. There's no good reason for it. And they justify it in the end. No reason. No growth. She didn't come out learning anything. She didn't even use her stupid suit when she was falling in the quantum realm. Gee, when's the best time to get big? Maybe when you're falling.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh!
Wow. Maybe we should have wrote this movie.
And I'm not done.
Look,
I'm not even close to done.
And you can keep going. That's fine. I just want to say, making movies is hard, especially when there's a committee of people who have a plan and they're like, okay, we've got to get to this point. It goes all the way back to the first Ant-Man movie because Edgar Wright was going to direct that film for a long time and he dropped out because he was like, I don't want to follow this plan. That wasn't the Ant-Man movie I wanted to make. I wanted to make my Ant-Man movie, not the MCU Ant-Man movie, which is what we got with Peyton Reed. So it's hard. It's hard to do that. So I'll give them that. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes or if they could have changed things or they wanted something else to happen in this movie. But there's got to be some change here. And I think Guardians of the Galaxy...
They are in the business of making movies.
Yeah.
I understand it's hard, but they do the hard thing all the time. At a certain point, if you're a professional tennis player, it's a Tuesday going to Wimbledon. You just
here's the thing. You could write a great script, but then you produce this script and the director could change it on set, on the day of. I'm just saying there's so many things that could happen. That script could have been a lot better.
But that's
I don't know.
why they have a Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige, honestly, Kevin Feige is too spread out. There's too much happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're bringing it back. Apparently, they've come out and said, look, we're taking everything a step back from just producing so much stuff because Kevin Feige can't oversee everything. It's impossible.
Right.
No one person could.
I understand that, and I agree. I went into this movie hoping because they were going to bring Kang in that I was going to get to see a little bit more of Kang. And I didn't. The amount of times or the duration of time that we got to see him being Kang was all of 45 seconds. Between the flashback, which was 8 seconds, and then the end of battle scene at the end, he was Kanging them. That was it. That's all we got.
Well,
did you get a real sense of the danger? Now, remove Loki from this.
No, to be fair, though, this was not supposed to be the Kang movie. So this was supposed to be a build-up to Kang, which is still confusing.
But there was no imminent threat.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that Kang is not supposed... He's supposed to be the big villain. He's like Thanos. So when we watch Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy and he shows up, we didn't get a real sense of who he was until Infinity War. So...
Right, but he was in Infinity War. It wasn't just a cameo.
Right.
And so him in Infinity War, we got a real good, quick sense of who he was.
And I think we will get that later. I think we'll get that with probably the Kang Dynasty movie that they got coming.
And that's fine. But I refuse to give them a pass at this point.
Well,
for what
I'm not asking you to give them a pass. I don't think you should.
No, and I know you didn't ask me. I'm just stating out into the open to Marvel as an open letter. Get it together.
I agree. No, I agree. And I really love the Ant-Man character. I think he's the little guy. That's the whole point of his story. He's the guy that isn't Captain America. He's the guy that isn't Iron Man. He's not any of those things. He's a little guy trying to just get by. And I think making a story surrounded by that is what makes it work. I mean, the first movie had some crazy out there stuff, but when it came down to it, the entire fight scene at the end of the movie was done in a children's room with a train coming at it.
And that's what made it so endearing, is it was so contained.
Yeah.
It was real risk without needing to go full open scale battle. When you have 50 characters spread out, you don't get attached to a single one. So when that dude with the lens head or whatever he was, when he died, I was just like, oh no, I don't even care.
Oh no, lens head.
Like, the lens, no, not 8-ounce glass face. Like, I don't care.
I don't remember any of the Alien movie, Aliens, or I did like the broccoli guy. I did like the holy shit. That guy looks like broccoli.
Was one of those moments. Yeah, that was one of those few lighthearted moments of the movie that I missed. That reminded me of the first movie. That just had a little sprinkling of self-aware humor. Like, look, this is ridiculous. We're gonna go ridiculous, but then it felt like it was trying to be Endgame.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It didn't need to be.
That's exactly what someone said it was supposed to be. I think the director said they were going for Endgame level stuff, and it's like, we don't need Endgame.
How can you get that relationship with that many characters?
Yeah,
without any foundation. I didn't care about any of them. And near the end, I was just hoping Kang would win, so that way I wouldn't have to see it again. I was honestly sitting there going, if they killed Ant-Man, would that be the worst thing?
I don't want Paul Rudd to die. Ever.
I don't either. But it would at least it would turn the movie 180 degrees.
Well,
like,
that's why
it's over the top and silly, and then all of a sudden it gets real quick.
That's why I like the ending. I like the ending that I had in my mind, where he's fighting Kang and he's like, you think you can win against me? And he's like, I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. But it didn't matter.
Beautiful.
But it didn't matter because they opened the portal and they're right back. He didn't lose anything. That's why I like the idea.
Sacrifice.
I like the idea of Cassie on the other side being like, I can't open this portal because I don't know if Kang is going to come through. And on the other side is him and Wasp stuck in the quantum realm and trying to figure it out until the next movie. I was like, yes, that was frustrating.
So, Paul, I do have one correction, one very minor correction that would have changed the whole tone of the movie for me.
Oh, do tell.
And it's very, very end, when they're sitting around the table and he's looking around and he's all happy and he's questioning himself. You know how great it would have been to have a Kang variant come up and serve him at the restaurant?
Well,
like there, just bam. Like
I just think it would be
start messing with him.
I think it would be more
to
like
a degree.
To me, it would be more like I like that. But it would have to be like that over the scene they did from Loki at the end, because that's too similar. I think one or the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They would have had to pick and choose a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I
then
do
again,
like that,
Kang has so many variants that you could technically get away with it and have it mess with Ant-Man.
Another thing
just a little bit.
I did like the post-credit scenes a lot. I like the idea of this Kang dynasty kind of out of control and coming after everyone. That's crazy. And I love the idea of Loki, finding these other variants and being like, we have to stop him. This guy's really serious. And he's just like, I don't think he's that bad. He said like Owen Wilson. Yeah. And it's really cool. I like those endings. I just really wish the rest of the movie had been that good.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing I need to talk about, and probably the last thing for me.
Buckle up, people.
MODOK.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That's. I'm glad you brought him up. You go first.
Okay, so
you go first. Let me know whenever you're ready.
On paper, I like the idea of Darren Cross. I think that's his name, Darren Cross, becoming MODOK. On paper, it didn't play well with this movie because MODOK is an ugly bastard. That dude, have you seen pictures of him? He is horrifying to look at.
Oh, yes.
And Corey Stoll, the actor, is not that bad looking. So you put that face in the suit with the floating head, it just doesn't work. And the CG was so awful. It felt like something out of the, and I love this movie, but I'm gonna say what it is. It looks like something out of the Beowulf movie that came out in the early 2000s. You know, the really bad CGI. I like that movie, but it is what it is. The dead eyes look.
Yep.
It just
dead
did not look good. And then I think if you're gonna do a movie like this, he should have probably been the main villain. Like, it doesn't make sense to have Kang and MODOK in the same movie. MODOK's a big villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, he's silly, but Ant-Man's a silly character. So you could easily make him the villain and still keep him, you could still keep him as Darren Cross. Fine. Do that. Do better CGI. Concentrate on the MODOK storyline. I would have been fine with that. I don't know how that would have worked. I don't know if it would have been a better movie, but that's where my mind went immediately. And I just didn't think there was enough for me to think of him turning at the very end to be the good guy. Now, I did like that scene of him dying, and he's just like, oh, I'm an Avenger now. And he's just like, yeah, you're an Avenger. That's a funny moment, but it doesn't work in the overall context of the story. That's my problem with that.
No.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents on MODOK. Yeah.
So Darren Cross in the first movie was such a good villain because he was so serious. He was the imminent threat. You really felt like he could destroy Cassie. You know, like you just kept thinking, like, what is he going to do? He clearly wants to end these people because of his greed. And then he gets sucked down into the quantum realm and just all messed up. Well, by the end, he has absolutely no reason to reach over and, like, touch Ant-Man and go, we're like brothers. It's like, that felt so terrible. I kind of wanted Ant-Man to just finish him. Just end it. You know, like just walk away. Just walk away.
That's a dark movie, man.
I just
That's a dark movie.
It was so painful.
Yeah.
So painful.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
So you're saying, Dan, to summarize all of this, you would not recommend this movie?
Go see something else. I haven't seen Cocaine Bear, but you know what? Go check that movie out first.
I'm going tonight.
If that's not your speed, maybe you should just stay home.
Wait.
Just,
did you say if this is not your speed for Cocaine Bear? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, guys, everyone, gals, thank you so much for watching today. That was our review for Ant-Man and
We're
the
gonna
Wasp.
blow.
We didn't even touch on everything in this movie, but
oh no,
we could talk about Michael Douglas having nothing to. I mean, he had things to do, but it just was a completely different character. The Wasp had nothing to do. Michelle Pfeiffer had a story arc, but
yeah, but it didn't line up. It wasn't consistent.
No.
How can she go so long and not talk about it? He's right. There is just not enough time to talk about this steaming pile of trash.
But if you enjoyed the movie, good on you. I'm glad you did. People, if you
please
whatever
let me
you
know
like,
below what you liked about it. Let us know what you liked about this movie, so that maybe we can build another perspective.
Art is a subjective matter, and so if Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania did it for you, no judgment here. Just wasn't our cup of tea. It wasn't our speed. Anyway.
Nope.
Thank you so much, veterans, for watching today and for your service. And thank you, Dan, for watching that movie and reviewing it with me.
You know what? I have no regrets except for sitting in the movie theater. I have no regrets.
Like the tattoo says, I have no regrets.
That's actually what it says across my chest. No regrets.
I got it right after the movie. No,
yep.
I will say I would like to see a new Ant-Man movie. Yeah, I think if they brought it back to the basics of the first two films,
Yes, I
do
would
whatever
be all
this is.
in. I would love to see that. Bring it. Do
Bring
it.
it.
You won't do it. Do it.
Kevin Feige comes into your room, starts beating you with a bat.
You just see him come in the door.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.